Hi everyone, this is Luna from Aspie Gamer Girl, and today we are going to talk about games that will be live during October on Kickstarter. This is not like a top 10 of my favorite games or anything like that, no. I'm just mentioning games that I think that are worth to try. On the description of this video, I will leave some links that you might find useful, like the links to their campaigns, the official link of the game, and so on. So as you know, Kickstarter has so many games that it's impossible to keep track of all of them. So here I'm just gonna mention some of those games. So the first game that I'm really excited about is brought by Pandasaurus, but this time they don't bring us one dinosaur game, but two of them, which is pretty awesome. Both Dinosaur World and Dinosaur Island are available on the same campaign. Both games are a dice-based game for 2 to 4 players. You are designing the most amazing dinosaur park, right? But that is not enough. If a lot of people keep dying on your park, maybe people won't feel that safe and come to visit. So you are not only designing this amazing park with like all these dinosaurs, you also have to make sure your park is safe. Dinosaur Island, Rawr, and Ride. Well, it's a roll and write game, as that was hinted on the title. The reason why I'm so excited about this game is because lately I have tried roll and write games and I kind of like them a lot. And something that I like particularly of this game is that they give you so many options of roll and write. Usually roll and write, you roll the dice and just write 1 or 2 options sometimes. But this game is a little bit different because on this game you don't have 1 but 2 sheets to design your park, to track your workers, to have resources, actions, and so on. So they are giving you a lot of possibilities. So now that we are talking about roll and write, what about flip and write and Cartographers Heroes? So this is a new version of Cartographers, but the cool part is that it can also be played as an expansion of the original version, which is kind of awesome. And something that I really like of Cartographers is how people have come so creative around the game. Because if you haven't seen the maps, well, you should Google them because people are doing these beautiful maps. Well, that the interaction between the players and the game is really special on this game. Okay, so let's stop a little bit talking about roll or flip and write, and let's talk about tile placing, Cascadia. This game is so beautiful. The art and components are really gorgeous. I'm not gonna go in detail on that because I'm gonna tell you what Cascadia is about. This game is for 1 to 4 players, in which each player is going to place their own tiles to create the most harmonious ecosystem. And I use harmonious because you only have to use pieces to create an ecosystem, but it has to be balanced in order for animals to come back to their habitat. Yeah, that is just beautiful. I love the story that the game is giving you while you play it. But of course, a game without a story doesn't mean it's a bad game. And here it comes Radioactive Bees. Radioactive Bees is also a tile-placed game for 1 to 4 players, in which players have 2 options to score points. 1, to let your opponents cover your bees, and 2nd, to expose your bees to radioactivity. So you kind of want to do both because the game is well balanced in that way. If you just do one or the other, you are not gonna win. So you want to have some bees covered by your opponents, but you also want to have radioactivity because at the end of the game, the player that has the most dangerous bees on history will win. And talking about history, here comes Regency. Regency is a 2 to 6 player card game in which each player wants to be the most powerful regent. And the way to do it is to attract citizens from the different cast to your fiefdom. But be careful because sometimes regents play dirty. So you may think that you're about to win and then another regent steals your citizens as their own. 2 things that I really like about this game is first, as a history game, usually these games are more about the battles or like white male characters, but no. This one has a ton of diversity in terms of gender and race, which is fantastic. And the second thing I really like is how balanced the deck is. So if you start with a bad hand, don't worry, it doesn't mean that you're gonna lose. The last game that I wanted to mention today, but not the last important, but definitely the smallest one, is MiniSteel. It's mini, it's like this big, it's so tiny. It's really cute. MiniSteel is a 2 to 4 player card game, and I'm impressed and amused of how they were able to fit so many components and cards in a box this big. It's like, what? Anyways, the game plays really fast. It's competitive, but not competitive enough that you will end up on a fight, and you don't need a lot of space to play it. Each player starts the game with some health power points, and you are gonna battle to try to kill each other. The last player alive wins the game. So these are some of the games that I think that they deserve a place on your shelf, but of course, not the only ones. There are a ton of games coming this month or that are already live. What we have on Kickstarter is games to choose from.